AEW Unrestricted, the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling. I'm Will Washington. This is Aubrey Edwards.
Hi.
We are in person.
We're in person. I'm looking at you, not through a screen.
I know.
You're real.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we don't do this all the time, but
I feel like I see you all the time, and this is very special because it's like we never get to do these in person anymore. It's really, really awesome.
Yeah, we don't. And I'm excited to get to do this show. But don't forget, folks, AEW Unrestricted is presented by Upper Deck. Collect your favorite AEW stars in 2025 Upper Deck AEW and start your trading card collection today.
Yeah.
Unwrapped autograph memorabilia and premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more. I've got a pack right here.
I've got a pack.
as
Thank
well.
you for bringing these in your checked bag.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like as we're frantically packing stuff for podcasts, like, no, we need the cards. Okay.
Yeah, and I got cards.
What do you got? What do you got?
Look at this. I got the AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page.
I'm so excited. I pulled first one on the top, Ian Riccaboni, who is one of my favorite commentators and one of my favorite people. He's just so kind. Like when I think of kind, I think of Hangman and Ian Riccaboni. So I feel like we're starting off on the right foot.
Well, maybe the other side of kind. But
oh no,
I've got. Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive. I've got Platinum Max Caster here.
Nice. I actually pulled a Konosuke Takeshita, who is killing it right now in the G1 over in New Japan. And I think that's a great segue into talking about why we're here today. Because we're here in person talking about Forbidden Door, which is happening this Sunday, August 24th at the O2 Arena in London, the United Kingdom. It's so exciting. We've got very limited tickets. It's almost sold out. So if you have the chance to go to AEWTIX.com right now and get your tickets. If you can't be there in person, definitely watch it on pay-per-view because you know AEW pay-per-views don't miss. Traditional pay-per-view, ppv.com, Prime Video, and Prime Video is in the United States, it's in Canada, and it's in the UK. We do Triller TV internationally. We're doing it on YouTube. There's so many different places that you can watch AEW now. It's just been a huge year for AEW 2025. And stick around. We've got more to talk about now, but soon, coming up, because it's a pay-per-view podcast, why have we not talked to Tony Khan in a long time?
I know we haven't had Tony Khan on the show in a while.
Oh, my God!
And Tony's going to be here a little bit after the break. But, you know, this is Forbidden Door coming up. And
it is.
It's been an exciting time for me. Like, genuinely, I have not missed the Forbidden Door. I was, as a fan, at the first Forbidden Door. Somebody just reminded me of this, actually. I was at the United Center.
That's right.
I was front row. And somebody just recently sent me a picture. They were doing a rewatch of Forbidden Doors, and they're like, "Oh my God!"
right there.
Yeah, and there was a close-up shot of me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely me right there."
I remember leading up to that show when it got announced and seeing the promo photo, the logo pops up, and then you see New Japan, you see AEW, and it was one of those things at the time where I'm like, "Are we actually doing this?" It was so unheard of at the time. The whole concept of the Forbidden Door is because the companies don't work together. And now we're on our fourth iteration of it. That this is just such a normal thing. It's almost like a big family reunion every year.
It really is.
Anytime I see all my friends come over from New Japan, I'm like, hey, Zach, what's going on?
Yeah, honestly, there's been stories and the relationships made. And there's just been so much. Forbidden Door is such a special time for AEW. I think about my first Forbidden Door working in AEW and the excitement around, genuinely, I swear to you, I watch this clip so often, but Bryan Danielson entering the final countdown for the first time.
That was the first one?
That was the first one in the main event of Forbidden Door.
Unreal.
At Scotiabank Arena in which we're going to be at, by the way.
For All Out.
For All Out. So
coming back to Toronto.
Yep, coming back to Toronto. But that was my first time in Toronto, too, now that I think about it. But getting to see that show and Bryan Danielson make that entrance and to do it against Kazuchika Okada in the main event. And that was such a major moment for AEW, and to get to see that happen at Forbidden Door. Again, that's what makes Forbidden Door such a special time for us.
It really is.
And last year with the main event with Swerve and Will Ospreay.
That was one of my most memorable matches of Forbidden Door. Seeing those two wrestle, because I think we were all sort of waiting for that moment where Will Ospreay was going to challenge for the title. And Swerve Strickland was just on a tear after winning this title. And he's having banger after banger match. And you see these two guys. I don't think I've ever run to a ring faster in my life than I did in that moment. Previously, if you look back now, it's I was kind of slow then because there's been other opportunities, but I digress. Sorry, Taz. But yeah, it's just this incredible match. We have all of these moments.
Digress Jones over here.
Digress Jones over here. But it's so fun because we've always joked that and not really a joke, but like Will Ospreay is the Forbidden Door.
He really is.
On the first show, he had the match with Orange Cassidy, which I read that and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, in what world does Orange Cassidy have a pay-per-view match with Will Ospreay?
That's become. I remember there was one time one of my friends who's a non-wrestling fan wanted to kind of get an understanding of pro wrestling, and I used that match. I was like, if you want a match that's like that gives you everything that is pro wrestling, we actually just put that match up on YouTube, so definitely check it out. The YouTube channel. But Orange Cassidy versus Will Ospreay is just the perfect encapsulation of pro wrestling when it's action-packed, when it's fun, when it's dramatic. Like, everything you could want in professional wrestling, you get in one match. You want to laugh, like Orange Cassidy gets you. You want the action, both Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay bring it. It's fast-paced. It's unpredictable. It is pro wrestling to me, and that match, like, is so good.
It's like they say that, like, in professional wrestling, there's all these different flavors of ice cream. Mm-hmm. That's a gosh darn sundae right there.
Yes.
We're going to Baskin Robbins getting all 31 flavors.
But like that just represents, like, this is the fourth time Forbidden Door has hit, and this time we're leaving North America. We did it in Chicago, we did it in Toronto, we did it in New York, but this time we're headed over to the UK. We're headed to London. We're headed to the O2 Arena.
Pip, pip.
This is going to be special. Like, this is already a time where, this is the same time we hit London last year, but it's so unique because it's New Japan, it's AEW. I can't wait. I've had such a great time with Forbidden Door as it has existed, and man, I can't say enough good things about this show. And looking at the card as it exists, like this card that we have this year, it's a very different card than we've done in the past.
Very much
but
so.
There's just so much and so much pro wrestling and so much you could possibly take away from this card. I can't wait.
I can't wait at all. And I can't wait. So let's get to the commercial break so we can get to the good stuff. We've got Tony Khan coming up. He's our CEO, our GM, our head of creative. You know him as the boss man. He's an incredible guy, and he's just been killing it. This year, 2025 in general, one of the best years for AEW. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about Forbidden Door coming up after the break.
Unrestricted.
AEW Unrestricted. It's Will Washington, it's Aubrey Edwards, and we're talking Forbidden Door, which is live on pay-per-view this Sunday, August 24th. You do not want to miss this show. It's available on Prime Video in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. It's also available on YouTube.com. It's available on PPV.com. It's available on traditional pay-per-view. It's available on Triller internationally. And of course, if you are in the UK, you don't want to miss this show. AEWTix.com is the way to be a part of it at the O2 Arena. But we can't talk about pay-per-view without talking with the man who makes it all happen. He is the CEO. He is the president. He is the head of creative. He is the one and only Tony Khan. Welcome back to AEW Unrestricted, Tony.
It's great to be back on Unrestricted. It's my first appearance in 2025.
Yes.
And we're having such a great 2025. I think it's been a tremendous year, and I'm excited to talk about all the great things happening. And first and foremost right now is AEW and New Japan collaborating on a great Forbidden Door show. Forbidden Door this Sunday. It's going to be an afternoon show for everyone in America, or on the East Coast at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time, 11 p.m. in the Mountain Time, and of course 10 a.m. Pacific, early start time. And if you're in the UK, it's going to be a 6 p.m. GMT start time. It's going to be a tremendous event. AEW back in London, where we set the world record for attendance for the most tickets sold for any pro wrestling show ever at Wembley Stadium. And now we're going to the O2 for the first time ever. It's going to be nearly sold out. There's, I believe, limited tickets remaining. And we're going into Wednesday Night Dynamite. We're just really minutes away from Wednesday Night Dynamite. And it's our first ever week of television starting Wednesday night, hours from now. This Wednesday, Glasgow, Scotland. First time AEW in Scotland ever. More milestones. It's going to be a great time. And also, we're celebrating. We're the number one show on cable. Back in the number one spot. We've been doing great.
Number one, baby!
Had such a great year on television. And I think as we talk about this pay-per-view and all the great things happening in AEW, of course, this is going to be a Sunday afternoon show this Sunday. Our last pay-per-view was AEW All in Texas. I think it's one of the most important and significant days in the history of the company. That was also an afternoon show. That was a Saturday afternoon show. This is a Sunday afternoon this week. But what's been happening since All in Texas, we've been on this amazing run. We've kept that momentum going, and we rode it into being the #1 show on cable this week. It's a little bit of a different build for Forbidden Door, but it's really working for the TV, and it's been very good for AEW, as evidenced by the last few weeks, the best run of ratings all year. And that's been really a theme this year. We've started streaming this year in 2025 on HBO Max, which is a huge, huge thing for us. We've built new audience. We've brought back fans that may have cut the cord, but also every Wednesday on TBS and every Saturday on TNT, we bring in great audiences, top audiences, and that's so important to us. And we've actually, as we started streaming the show in 2025, we've built and grown the audience. Actually, from Q4 to Q1 on TBS and on TNT, the audiences for Dynamite and Collision grew. And then you have to take into account that doesn't even include the people we added on HBO Max. Just on cable, we grew from Q4 to Q1 as we started streaming in key demos and also in the total viewers, as well as the 25 to 54 core audience. We grew the total viewership in Q1. Then in Q2, we grew it again, and we're having a fantastic Q3. And guess what? That's well on our way to a nice year of results from Q4 of last year to Q1 to Q2, and hopefully keep building here in Q3 as we are going into this massive tentpole event, Forbidden Door. And I talked about All in Texas. We really changed the AEW cadence and schedule this year since we weren't at Wembley Stadium, thanks to our friends who made news themselves, Coldplay, having a very newsworthy year themselves, and they had Wembley Stadium booked years in advance for this weekend. So we made it work. We're going to have this great Forbidden Door. All In came to Texas. Turned out to be one of the greatest days in the history of the company. And now we're going to have one of the biggest days in the history of the company with Forbidden Door, which is also going to be one of our biggest gates ever. But with the G1 Climax happening this time of year, it's different cadence than the other Forbidden Doors. It's always something fun working with Ghetto. It's a very different presentation using American television to build pay-per-views. It's a different rhythm and cadence to what's typically done in Japan and what New Japan does to present a show. And for us, this year, with a little bit less availability of a lot of those stars, we've still been able to work in great representation from top stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling, as we're going to talk about on the card. Big matches involving top stars in New Japan and big stakes in AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, but also a lot of their stars tied up in the G1 Climax, which we're very excited about, and if you haven't followed it yet, AEW has been involved in the tournament. We're very excited about what Takeshita has done in the G1, and I think if you're not familiar with that, you want to check out the great matches he's had on New Japan World, but it's incredible what he's been able to do there. And my good friend, my counterpart, my fellow president, Hiroshi Tanahashi himself, coming to represent New Japan Pro Wrestling and join top stars from AEW, some of the biggest fan favorites in the whole world of pro wrestling, like Darby Allin, like Kenny Omega,
Yay!
Kota Ibushi, and of course, England's own Will Ospreay. Yes. And what an amazing thing to have the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, teaming up in this lights-out cage match, joining these fan favorites, President Tanahashi, Darby Allin, and England's own Will Ospreay, who's going to be so popular and has a lot to prove against men who took him out, men who took his friends out, including Darby Allin, talking about the Death Riders, and they've collaborated with New Japan Pro Wrestling's Gabe Kidd, of course, having John Moxley, dominant star, the only man in the history of pro wrestling to hold the AEW World title, the WWE World title, and the IWGP World title. Mox is absolutely on a tear. He has built so much momentum in AEW, back up in recent weeks, looking really as great as ever. And he's got a lot to prove. And then certainly the Young Bucks, people who have a lot to prove. And also, to be honest, I think are on one of the greatest runs of their entire careers, whether you call them Slick Nick and Mr. Instant Replay, or Matthew and Nicholas, or no talent name, or in this case, just Matt and Nick. They're just absolutely having a fantastic year, and you got to give the Devils their due in this case. There's so much to look forward to on this show. Of course, huge championship matches involving the AEW World Champions, having Timeless Toni Storm, the Women's World Champion, taking on the Ring of Honor World Champion, Athena. It's incredible. These two are two of the most dominant, two of the greatest wrestlers in the world, and to have two world champions fighting a one-on-one, that is the kind of dream match that the Forbidden Door show. And when we come to London, which has been such a great home to AEW, to make our debut in the O2, that's such a huge match for us. Of course, Athena, the winner of the Casino Gauntlet match, executing that contract, taking on Timeless Toni Storm. And then, of course, Hangman Page. We talked about All in Texas, and I did refer to the former champion Jon Moxley, the legend. Hangman Page, the conquering hero. He has just been absolutely on a phenomenal run this year. And since winning the Owen Hart Foundation tournament against Will Ospreay and capturing that world title against Jon Moxley at All in Texas, Hangman Page continues to look unstoppable, and he will be taking on the most hated man in pro wrestling, a man who has really, in 2025, not only been fantastic in the ring and was the winner at All in Texas of the Casino Gauntlet match for the men, somebody who also not only hated in the world of pro wrestling, but somebody who's had great success in the world of film, in the world of streaming this year. One of the key featured stars in Happy Gilmore 2, a member of the Gilmore family now, talking about MJF. And Hangman Page, MJF, another huge match. There's so many huge matches involving the top stars of AEW. I mentioned President Tanahashi, Gabe Kidd, great stars from New Japan, and the top stars of AEW joining the top stars of New Japan Pro Wrestling and fighting each other in a lights-out steel cage match. All these high-stakes matches. We saw last week Hiromu Takahashi arriving, and he will represent New Japan Pro Wrestling, possibly the best pound-for-pound wrestler there and one of the best in the world, Hiromu Takahashi, taking on somebody who's also having a great 2025, a former star in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the new TNT champion, Kyle Fletcher. And, of course, IWGP World title will be on the line. We found out in the technical spectacle that Zack Sabre Jr., maybe the greatest technical wrestler on the planet today, the IWGP World Champion, who's been such a dominant player for years in New Japan Pro Wrestling and international wrestling landscape, will be defending his title against one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time, the winner of the technical spectacle this past Saturday on AEW Collision, and one of the most decorated stars and somebody who's got a lot to prove. He's a hometown hero, the legendary Nigel McGuinness.
What a dream match.
Oh, my God.
It's unbelievable.
I'm so excited.
This show's going to be unbelievable. This Forbidden Door is going to be fantastic, and it's very emblematic of the kind of great 2025 that AEW's having. It's just been fantastic. TV and pay-per-views. And, of course, this Sunday afternoon, it's going to be one of the greatest shows, I think, in our history, and we're so excited to have our friends from New Japan Pro Wrestling joining us as we go back to London, where we've made history before, and we're going to do it again this Sunday afternoon. It's a perfect time to go back to London with AEW on fire in 2025, and we have a lot to look forward to the rest of this year also.
God, just the way you were describing that card, it gets me so excited for
Yes.
it. Like, even just thinking about the idea that, like, you know, talking about MJF and Hangman Adam Page, like, that's such a piece of AEW history, and the way that they've been able to reignite their rivalry in AEW again in 2025, and you know, going back to Revolution and everything that happened with them earlier this year,
Yes.
and to get back to it this time for the AEW World Championship, it feels like the pinnacle of all things that represent what AEW is.
Absolutely. And let me say, from the very first match in AEW's history, the first Casino Gauntlet match at the buy-in at the first Double or Nothing in May of 2019, over 6 years ago, MJF and Hangman locked up in that match. They were the final two. They were the two men who were out there with the legendary Bret the Hitman Hart when he pulled the AEW World Championship out of the bag at the original Double or Nothing, debuted the title. They've both held the AEW World Championship. They've been two key focuses of this promotion, our two greatest homegrown stars fighting for the championship from the very beginning of AEW. This has been the design, and really 2025, we're having such a fantastic year, and I do think from the very moment when Hangman's music hit and he came out there and told MJF to get out of the ring because he had to wrestle on Dynamite, it really felt like, oh, this is going to be a big, great year, 2025. It helped set the tone very early in January for this fantastic year we're having. There's so many great matches on the card, great companies represented, great matches up and down, Forbidden Door this Sunday. And, of course, we'll find out very soon who will represent our friends at Stardom in the TBS Championship match.
That's right.
We know that our friends from CMLL are going to be sending Persephone, a fantastic star, a great champion, a great rising star in CMLL. And, of course, England's own Alex Windsor is going to be the challenger representing AEW against one of the most dominant, one of the greatest, and certainly the most decorated champion in pro wrestling, Mercedes Moné. And Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion, will have a lot to prove coming off one of the greatest matches in AEW history and one of the most important matches ever, of course, her clash with the current AEW World Champion, Timeless Toni Storm, at AEW All In Texas. I'm very excited about that match and excited for us all to learn who Stardom is going to elect as their representative in the four-way. There's so many great matches to look forward to. I'm also, speaking of great championships and the history of AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, I mean, going back to the first Forbidden Door, Kazuchika Okada, who is now the AEW Continental Champion, originally represented New Japan Pro Wrestling, but now for over a year has been a dominant player in AEW. And he will be defending what is now the AEW Unified Championship, the man who has taken both the Continental title and dominated with it, and now the International Championship, which has such a fantastic lineage. So many great champions have held that belt and look at it as one of the greatest accomplishments of their careers. Now it is part of the AEW Unified Championship held by Kazuchika Okada, who will be defending the title. Speaking of the greatest champions, somebody who has been to the top of the mountain and somebody who has wrestled in the biggest matches, including in London, in Wembley Stadium, the former AEW World Champion who is coming to the O2 with a lot to prove this Sunday afternoon. Swerve Strickland taking on Okada for the AEW Unified Championship this Sunday afternoon. So many great championship matches across so many companies, so many high stakes. I'm so excited for this pay-per-view. And I'm also excited for our first Dynamite in Glasgow. I can't wait to find out who's going to be wrestling the Hurt Syndicate for the AEW World Tag Team Championships this Wednesday night, hours away from now, hours from now on TBS and HBO Max. FTR, the former world champions, taking on the Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito and former AEW World Trios Champion Brody King. Brodito taking on FTR, and the winners of this match will wrestle against the Hurt Syndicate for the championship in AEW at Forbidden Door with AEW and New Japan top stars, and of course Bandito, one of the top stars in America, all around the world, and in Mexico.
Yes.
And I think Bandito is somebody who has been one of the MVPs of pro wrestling this year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
the main event of Supercard was just
incredible.
Him and Takeshita just tore the house down.
And it's part of a fantastic run of matches that Bandito's been on in ROH, in AEW, and in CMLL. So many fantastic matches against Mascara Dorada, Mystico, teaming with Hologram against Mascara Dorada and Mystico, against Takeshita, teaming with Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly against Takeshita and the Young Bucks. And, of course, the classic match a couple of weeks ago in the semifinals against the Young Bucks in what was an unbelievable match. Such a great win for Brody King and Bandito. And again, as incredible as the Young Bucks have been in 2025, for Brody King and Bandito to win that match, make the finals, it is absolutely amazing. Both of them, so much momentum, having a great year. And, of course, FTR having an absolutely fantastic year. They're involved in a very heated situation with Adam Copeland, the Rated R superstar, and Christian Cage. And it'll be interesting to see if FTR and their manager, Stokely Hathaway, will be able to keep their focus on Brodito this Wednesday night. And we'll see who comes out of this match between Brodito and FTR. And speaking of FTR and Stokely Hathaway, their issues with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. What a fantastic moment on Dynamite to see the reunion of Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, and oh man, am I excited to see their first match in many, many years, teaming this Sunday afternoon against Christian Cage's former sons, effectively, Kip Sabian and the Ring of Honor World TV Champion Nick Wayne, the Prodigy.
Yeah, I cannot stress how excited I am to see Cope and Christian back in the ring together for the first time in since 2011, since they've last teamed up.
It's really something that we've all wanted, and I feel we've been waiting for this, and it just feels like the absolute right time. And like AEW is so special, and it always has been special, but this year we're just firing on all cylinders.
Absolutely.
And I'm so excited to go to Glasgow. I'm so excited to go back to London. The fans there are incredible, and this is just going to be a can't miss pay-per-view. You know, AEW does not mess up pay-per-views. We hit it out of the park every time. We somehow get better every time.
We're having a great year.
I don't know how you do it, man, but you're friggin' incredible.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. We're having a great year, and I'm very grateful, first of all, to all the great wrestlers in AEW. Throughout the locker room, the women and men in AEW are having a great year. The wrestlers are fantastic. AEW is where the best wrestle. We have a great staff. Everybody's doing a fantastic job. We have a great team that's really come together. Everyone backstage, from the wrestlers, the great staff, including both of you, and of course, the fans, the people watching these shows every Wednesday on TBS or HBO Max, and of course, everybody watching on HBO Max or on TNT on Saturdays. And thank you to everybody who's watching our AEW pay-per-views. We're having this great year because of all of you. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun, and it's all thanks to the wrestlers, the great company staff, and all of you watching the shows. And we hope to see you this Sunday afternoon. We're going to keep this great year for AEW going. We're going to welcome our friends from New Japan. We're going home to London, where we've had so many of our greatest successes, and it all happens so soon for AEW and New Japan coming to London. It's going to be a big Forbidden Door this Sunday afternoon. It's going to be a huge, huge show. You won't want to miss it. And, of course, again, Glasgow, AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite, huge stakes, and it's just minutes away. It's just hours away. This Wednesday, we make history with our first show ever in Scotland. Dynamite, Collision. It's going to be a huge week going into Forbidden Door, and I'm really grateful. And it's nice being back on Unrestricted with both of you.
Yes, it's been super awesome.
Seriously. It's been too long, and let's not make it as long this time.
Yes.
Well, I've been in the weeds, so it's good. I've been working, and it's good. I've got a lot of stuff done, and thanks to the great team here. While I've been away from Unrestricted, I think we're having a pretty great year, so it's nice to come back and reflect on the 2025. But you know what? I wouldn't change a thing. It's been good, if I am away next time, I hope things are going as well as they are right now when I come back.
Absolutely.
We're firing all cylinders, but you've been working hard, and we've all been working hard with you, Tony. This is just an absolutely incredible company. We're coming up on the 6 years of Dynamite even, and it's just like there's so much going on. All of the fans have been incredible. We love going overseas and seeing all these fans in London. We're seeing all these fans in Glasgow for the first time. It's going to be great. Watch Forbidden Door. It's this Sunday, August 24th at the O2 Arena live. If you have the chance to go, there's very limited tickets left, AEWTIX.com. If you can't be there live, you can definitely watch it, PPV.com, traditional pay-per-view, YouTube. You can watch it on Prime Video. You can watch it on Triller TV internationally. There's so many places you can watch it. Thank you for chatting with us today, Tony.
Thank you. It's been really great catching up with both of you. Of course, I see you both all the time, but we haven't done Unrestricted together in a while. It's a lot of fun, and it's going to be a great week as part of a tremendous 2025 that we're having. Thanks to everyone in AEW and, of course, all of you watching AEW. Thank you very much, and we'll see you Wednesday Night Dynamite very soon as part of this big Forbidden Door week. And thank you for listening to and or watching AEW Unrestricted.
This is still AEW Unrestricted. Welcome back. I'm Will Washington. She is Aubrey Edwards, and we're talking about Forbidden Door, which is live this Sunday night. Is it Sunday night? I guess it's Sunday night.
Sunday night if you're in the UK. It shows at 6 p.m.
Yeah, it's at 6 p.m. And so it's still night. And we just did this pay-per-view over. We did All In, and it was an afternoon show, and it felt really good to do an afternoon show. I love matinee wrestling. And if you are in the U.S., this show does start at 1 p.m. Eastern. It is 10 a.m. Pacific.
Brunch time.
Yeah, brunch time.
I'm excited.
Is like perfect time for wrestling. If you are over in the UK, it's at 6 p.m. And this show is going to be held live at the O2 Arena London. You do not want to miss this show. AEWTix.com. There's a very limited amount of tickets left to get in, but you want to get in the door, the forbidden door, if you can get there. If not, join us on pay-per-view. It's available on Prime Video in the US, the UK, and Canada. It's available on Triller. It's available on ppv.com. It's available on YouTube and, of course, traditional pay-per-view. However, you can get this show. You don't want to miss this show. There's so few excuses to miss AEW pay-per-view these days because you have so many means of watching our shows, and we always deliver on pay-per-view. I'm so excited for this show. I can tell you're excited for this show.
I'm pumped. Like, I remember when we first announced that the Forbidden Door was coming to London and how excited seeing someone like Will Ospreay was. How he had watched shows at the O2 growing up, and then now his face is front and center on the flyer for this show. Like, that's insane. And that's one of the things I love about working here is seeing all of the people who have come from the indies and have come from, you know, wrestling in VFW halls and all of these iconic venues for them, and then being able to perform on that stage in that venue and have that full circle moment.
Oh, yeah. When we were just talking with Grizzled Young Vex the other week, like that was a big conversation we were having. And you know, I remember the moment I was standing right outside Wembley, and there was a billboard that was that kept changing. And then when the billboard hit Forbidden Door, August 24th, 2025, everybody in the square started cheering.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a big deal to people that it was like, oh my God.
We're getting Forbidden Door.
All In hadn't even happened yet. And they were already excited about a year from now. And that year has gone by so quickly, and yet it hasn't, because so much has happened. And
we've been to so many other, like, we've been to Mexico, and then we've got Toronto in Canada coming up. Like, there's so much stuff that we have going on. We just had this amazing residency in Chicago. There's just so many things and so many places we've been in. It literally feels like yesterday we're at Wembley Stadium, and now we're coming back to London. And I love how much these fans welcome us. They're so excited to see all of the wrestlers performing, all of the people behind the scenes that are putting everything together. We're doing this awesome, like, Forbidden Door first look on Saturday.
Yep.
Very few tickets remain for that. They might all be sold out by the time this goes live. But I'm really excited for stuff like that, like just being able to see fans that never get to see AEW live, and they're seeing it up front and close in the O2 on Sunday, and I'm so stoked. But we only have a little bit of time left, and I do want to ask you, Will, what matches are you most excited about?
You know, it's one of those things where, like, we just got to talking about, you know, Tony was mentioning the Lights Out Steel Cage match.
Oh my God.
And, like, Lights Out is really a staple of what AEW has done for a very long time. We've done a good number of Lights Out matches. Whether we did, you know, we had a Lights Out Steel Cage match with Swerve and Hangman main eventing All Out last year. Going back to the first Full Gear, we saw John Moxley and Kenny Omega in a brutal Lights Out match. And, you know, Lights Out has been something very special to AEW. And now having a Lights Out Steel Cage match with not just 10 performers in it, but 10 of the best performers in the world inside a Lights Out Steel Cage match. That is, like, I can't even wrap my head around how this is all going to go down, and this is just going to be brutal. And, like, thinking about the fact that, you know, some of the guys I mentioned, like John Moxley and Kenny Omega, are both in this match.
Yes.
Like, those are two guys who historically have been in a Lights Out match before, and
not
like
their first rodeo.
Yeah, it's not their first rodeo. It's like they've had a steel cage match before.
Yeah.
And like just thinking about these guys, two of AEW's greatest rivals have found their way back into a ring inside a cage against each other. I am so excited. What about you? What are you most excited about?
So just I gotta end on that one, because I know that there are a lot of people in that match who are some of the greatest minds in wrestling. I know that I've had the chance to work with, and we've seen incredible violence and anarchy in the arena. We've seen incredible violence in cage matches and all these things. And you put all of these minds together, I'm legit, like, I'm just going to be sitting there like a kid in a candy store enjoying this match.
Yeah, same.
For me personally, I am probably the most excited about Toni Storm and Athena, because Athena's executing her contract that she got from the Casino Gauntlet back at All In, and she is facing Toni Storm, our AEW Women's Champion. And Toni Storm has been on a tear. Like, her, since winning back the title, she has knocked it out of the park every single time. She's always been an excellent wrestler, but I think she's just elevating this entire roster to another level. But at the same time, you have Athena, who is Ring of Honor.
Right, you want to talk about somebody on a tear? Like she's had the title.
She's literally like
December
the promotion.
Yeah,
or you change her middle name, whatever, Athena ROH, whatever her middle name may be. Like she is Ring of Honor. To see these two women who are absolutely representing their promotions to the greatest extent, coming at it and just like going face to face in a rabid crowd, I am so very excited. Like that's going to be one of those ones that gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, I that's one of those ones that's going to be very, very difficult for the fans in that building to call. And like to see Athena at this level, like people have been screaming, ready to see Athena, get to this position. You know, she has been dominating Ring of Honor for so long. She is your forever Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. And to now know that she has the opportunity to become the forever AEW Women's World Champion. Yeah, and honestly, like on the other side of that, talking about the Unified Championship match, Swerve Strickland versus Kazuchika Okada. We've only seen these two go one-on-one one time, and that was back at that was Dynamite 250 last year.
Oh, really?
And
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they main evented that show, but of course the match was cut short. There was a disqualification. We saw interference from the Elite. And we never got to see this match. It really barely got out of second gear. And to know now that these two have the opportunity with no interference, because this is Continental rules.
Hell yeah.
And so these two, we're not going to see that this time. This isn't the opportunity for the Bucks to interfere. This isn't the opportunity for Prince Nana or even getting to see the Don Callis family. None of that. This is Swerve Strickland, one-on-one, Kazuchika Okada, the Unified Championship on the line. You know, Swerve he main evented Forbidden Door last year, and that was probably the biggest win of his reign last year of being AEW World Champion. And now to defend, that was a defense against Will Ospreay, and he got to silence a lot of doubters there, because I think in that moment a lot of people were really behind Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
And Swerve got to silence all the doubters and prove that he was a champion. And now to know that he has the opportunity to become a champion again against one of the greatest. We're talking about over 500 days as a champion, Kazuchika Okada, who just unified the Continental Championship and the International Champion, the championship, by defeating Kenny Omega of all people. And so, Okada is not looking to drop that belt anytime soon. That brand new, shiny, beautiful championship, by the way.
Beautiful.
And, but Swerve has the opportunity to get back to the top and become a champion in AEW again. And I'm just really excited to see this happen. I am very, very, very much looking forward to this match. Another match that I'm really excited about, because you were actually... You were a part of one of the coolest matches to take place in quite some time.
Yes.
And, it was a technical masterpiece.
Technical spectacle, if you will.
Yeah, it was a technical spectacle. And
so I'm really glad we're actually talking about this. I'm just going to steal it from you, because I'm so excited about that. I feel like
I was throwing it to you, but
good.
Just steal it.
I'm just stealing it. You can't throw it. Whatever. This is actually one of the matches that I'm most excited about, because I think it is quintessential Forbidden Door. We're seeing a dream match that we never thought was possible between a representative AEW and a representative New Japan. We have Nigel McGuinness, who who knew when he was going to wrestle again, and now every time we see him, it's just this wonderful spectacle of technicalness. And then we see him facing the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr., arguably one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, who I've had the opportunity to work with multiple times. Like, to see Nigel win this match in this technical spectacle that we had on Collision, which, let me tell you, I have never been more gassed in my life. And I've got pretty good cardio.
I know you do.
You've seen me run to the ring, man.
Yes, I've given you all the props.
Right. So this was insane. And we also had Mike Posey on the outside, because there were so many instances with so many submissions that included so many people where, we needed to make sure we had all the vantage points we had, because we wanted to make sure that the person getting this opportunity to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. was the true winner. And we saw right at the very end, we had Daniel Garcia almost had it with Hechicero, and then we saw Lee Moriarty tap out to Nigel McGuinness, and now Daniel Garcia is going to corner Nigel McGuinness in London at Forbidden Door. And I feel like this is just like we're seeing past, the present, and the future all kind of coming together in one match.
And it's crazy to think like this is what Forbidden Door is all about.
It
like
really is.
when you think about those dream opportunities, you think of matches that you could have never thought possible. At the top of the show we were talking about Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay, and that was a match that you could have put down on paper, and all of a sudden Forbidden Door brought it to you. Or Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. Like that was a match that literally people used to make fantasy graphics of.
Yes, because it was never going to happen.
Yeah, I was looking at, I came across an old tweet from 2021 where somebody was like, before Bryan Danielson ever even came to AEW, and they were like, man, wouldn't it be cool if one day we could see Bryan versus Okada? Forbidden Door gave you that match.
Yep.
And now thinking about the fact that we've got Nigel McGuinness, which a year ago we weren't even talking about Nigel stepping in a ring.
Right.
And thinking about him up against one of the best technical wrestlers in professional wrestling history, in Zack Sabre Jr., and seeing the two of them go one-on-one. Again, that is what Forbidden Door is all about, and you're getting that this Sunday night.
This Sunday at the O2 Arena in London. Very, very few tickets remain, so AEWTIX.com. If you have the ability to go because all of our pay-per-views are just so absolutely incredible. They're can't-miss events. If you can't be there live, definitely check it out. It's a 1 p.m. start on the East Coast, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. GMT. It's on YouTube. It's on Prime Video. It's on ppv.com. We're on traditional pay-per-view. It's on Triller TV internationally. There's so many different places that you can watch this pay-per-view, and you have to watch it because it's going to be magical.
Yes, it absolutely is. And don't forget that this show right here is brought to you by our friends at Upper Deck.
Hey!
Collect your favorite AEW stars in 2025. Upper Deck AEW. Oh! With the toss.
Hey, I got it.
Yes, collect your favorite stars 2025. Upper Deck AEW and start your trading card collection today. Today. Look at.
I got Copeland. I got Copeland.
I got. Who am I going to throw out here? You know what? We're going to throw Samoa Joe.
Oh, brother.
Look at that. Samoa Joe.
Thank you to our incredible sponsors, Upper Deck.
Upper Deck, definitely. Unwrap autograph memorabilia and premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more. And you can follow and subscribe to this show on your favorite podcast platforms. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you're subscribed. Get brand new episodes every Thursday. And if you want to see this visual, you can visit our YouTube channel. AEW Unrestricted is where to find that. Just click on that subscribe button and never miss an episode. And are you an AEW insider?
Yes.
Oh,
I signed up.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if people aren't signed up, how do they sign up?
Well, just head on over to AEWTix.com. I need you to pretend you weren't, so then I can say, well, this is how you do it.
Well, I'm signed up because I'm cool. So if you want to be cool, you got to sign up because you get a lot of cool offers and free memorabilia, all that fun stuff.
Be cool like Aubrey Edwards.
Be cool.
Sign up, become an AEW insider, AEWTix.com. Don't forget AEW Dynamite every Wednesday night on TBS and streaming on HBO Max. AEW Collision is live every Saturday, TNT, and streaming on HBO Max. Ring of Honor streams live on Honor Club. I'm Will Washington. She's Aubrey Edwards.
Bye.
We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Peace.
Bye. See you in London.